Ladies and gentlemen, it is now legal for you
goodness.
to paint a political message that supports Black Lives Matter. And if you paint over it, that is a hate crime. We now have this breaking story from KCBS 106.9. The Martinez couple caught on video painting over the approved Black Lives Matter mural are being charged with a hate crime.
Wow.
That's from the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office. Yep, hate crime.
Wow.
It is a hate crime. So here's my concern. First, the mural was approved by the city.
Yep.
Why is the city approving people's right to paint on the street?
Yeah, I don't understand it. What pisses me off is, we talked about this yesterday after the show. You can burn an American flag legally.
Yep.
But if you burn a rainbow flag,
it's a hate crime.
That's a hate crime.
Yes, it is.
How is burning an American flag not a hate crime? You are basically saying you hate America.
That's not what hate crime means.
Oh, minorities, right? Is that what it is?
Protected classes.
Protected classes.
Yep. So if you burn an American flag, they will cheer for you and say free speech. And if you burn a rainbow flag, they will say hate speech. It's a hate crime. So that's actually because the argument is
outrageous.
that by burning the rainbow flag, you're intimidating a protected class. So there is a difference, though. I want to make sure I'm clear. In the specific case where this came up, it was because the guy burned the rainbow flag and then threw it in front of a gay bar, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so they argued that was, intimidation. However, the argument is that people routinely burn flags at public events for people who support America, and it's not. So there's got to be...
Yeah, well, what's a bigger platform than the internet now? That is the largest platform that we have access to. Everyone has access to it. So it's much bigger than up one bar. It reaches everybody. Anyone can share it, and it can reach anyone. So what's the difference? It's a hate crime.
The burning the American flag?
All of them.
Well,
either make it all illegal or none of it.
National origin is a protected class.
Oh, like American.
So then it is a hate crime.
So if you're burning the American flag specifically to make a point to intimidate or shock people from America, which I'd argue makes sense.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure national origin is protected. You want to look that up? National origin.
Yeah, I think it is.
1964.
It should either all be legal or all be illegal. I'm sick of this hypocrisy. It's ridiculous.
That's liberalism.
Yeah.
The true definition, not the colloquial, I really hate when people call the left liberals. They are not liberals. They have not been liberals for a very, very long time.
I don't think they know the true meaning of liberal.
So
enlighten us, Tim.
Well, liberal is a wide encompassing view that basically means government by the consent, through the consent of the governed.
Okay.
Which means that the true definition of the word, it's why you hear people say they're classical liberals.
Okay.
So this is a reference to like the early American Revolution. Conservatives, so the United States is what's called a liberal democracy. It's not a reference to being leftist or being a democracy. It's a reference to the institutions we use, democratic voting process, and liberalism in the sense that we give our consent to be governed.
Okay.
To varying degrees. I know
Right.
a lot of people are like, I don't agree with taxes, it's theft. It's like, but we were born here in a system that was already created, so we can have that argument. But typically, Western countries are called liberal democracies.
Yeah.
The left is anti-liberal. They are illiberal. Okay, illiberal meaning they don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in individual freedoms. They don't believe that the consent of the governed is required for the government to tell them what to do.
Well, you can speak free if you believe exactly the way they do.
Yeah.
So this is actually, listen, the liberalism thing is all, it all makes sense. These are people who believe that the world will end because of climate change, because individuals refuse to adhere to the way they see the world. So if you got that aluminum can right there, well, why don't you use recyclable bamboo cans or whatever or something?
Actually,
right?
those metal cans are very, very recyclable.
Oh, but the recycling process produces a ton of CO2. If you used bamboo, it could be biodegradable.
I'm sure all of their computers that they're tweeting on are even more detrimental.
Excuse me, I'm more effective this way.
Oh my
How
gosh.
dare you, bigot? I'm allowed to do these things and you're not. That's illiberalism.
Right.
Rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly.
I'm seeing it everywhere.
So these people are like, they really think this way. I should be able to, I should be able to use computers because I'm fighting to save the world. And if only these other people stopped, the world would be saved.
Yeah.
So they want to be the kings, so they can force you to live in a bamboo hut with a loincloth and no technology. They'll have the technology to make sure everyone lives properly the way they see fit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But that's literally what the far left advocates for. It is the opposite of liberal. So right now you have, I think, I think it's funny whenever you see people arguing about what is or isn't the factions of the culture war.
Okay.
And it really is just, I love it. I really do love it. First of all, one of the first things I heard is, I think it was Milo Yiannopoulos who said this. It's authoritarianism versus libertarianism. You have the authoritarian factions who want to tell you how to live your life, and then you have the libertarian factions who want to respect individuality and stuff like that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I do too.
But then I've heard people say that's not true. It's the nationalists versus the globalists. And I'm like, I actually don't agree with that because I'm not like an overt nationalist in that sense, but maybe that makes sense a little bit.
I mean, everyone's different. This is the issue. Everyone wants to put everyone on this in each thing. No. I mean, everyone can be different. Everyone can have a little bit of aspects of everything. It's like it's whether you're letting your emotions control it or the logical side of it control it.
Someone else's definition of what the factions of the culture war is.
You're absolutely right. And there's different versions of that for every single person. We are all different.
Then when you listen to the academic intellectual dark web types, they say the culture war is between groups with a postmodern worldview of subjective truth versus those who believe in objective reality.
Okay.
And I'm like, these are all kind of true.
Right.
But it's like, maybe that's just not like one faction and one faction. Maybe it's like an umbrella and an umbrella, and there's agreements. Because like, I don't base my identity around nationalism. I do love America, but I don't walk around thinking like, oh no, they're threatening to dissolve our borders and stuff. My thing is more about individual freedoms, respect, whether it's in this country or anyone else's.
Yeah.
The cancel culture extends to the UK. I have friends in the UK who are subjected to this stuff. But then there are people whose identity is purely based on nationalism and protecting America. And so we might find that we agree on many issues because of what America stands for.
Yeah.
And then their view is like, here's what cancel culture really is. Ultimately, what I think cancel culture comes down to is whether or not you believe in, I believe authoritarian versus libertarian is the best way to view it. I really do.
Yeah.
Because, you end up with like Dave Rubin, a gay married man, classical liberal, having a sit-down conversation with Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, where Ben straight up says, I don't agree with, how you live your life, and their friends having a conversation in complete disagreement. And that's what, you can see two people who clearly are of different factions
right.
in agreement about what's more important to them, living peacefully together versus what the other side is trying to do to them, you know?
Tear
So
it all down.
it's really interesting when you look at, there was a graph charting Clinton voters and Trump voters. Trump voters were ideologically across the spectrum, except for social justice, like intersectionalism.
Of course.
Clinton voters were clustered almost entirely. And so among the Trump's base, you had some people who were, you had half conservative, half liberal on economic policy and cultural policy. When it came to Hillary Clinton, it was like a huge far left cluster of intersectionality and like racial justice stuff.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense. Trump won with a weird coalition they did not expect he could pull off.
Oh man, I saw a video today of all the pundits talking about how it was a joke. He's a clown. Can't believe he's running.
Kanye?
No, Trump. This was like 2015.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
One of the most classic clips is when Ann Coulter was on Bill Maher.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, of the Republicans running now, who do you think has a chance to win? And she goes, of them now, Donald Trump. And then everyone laughs.
And she held her ground though. She was like,
yep.
I'm serious. Like, I was like,
Why are
man,
you laughing?
she called it. Everybody.
Hey, man, but pay attention to what she's saying because she has not been too kind to Trump.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah, she's been tearing into him. So I have to wonder about some of these higher profile people who may be in on the know and maybe seeing some inner dialogue, like inner circle dialogues. What do they really know? Maybe Trump isn't going to win. Listen, man, in 2016, I was like, there's no way they would let Trump win.
Well, I didn't vote in 2016. A lot of people are telling me they didn't vote ever. They didn't vote for many years. Doesn't matter. I'm hearing it all the time. Thanks for standing up. Thanks for saying that. I've never voted, but I'm absolutely voting. I'm absolutely paying attention.
I hear you.
You're right, though. It forced everyone to be political, to be into this. And I mean, everyone's seeing the crazy hypocrisy that's happening from COVID to the.
That's true.
You're not allowed to go
riots.
to churches. They're canceling church. Like, really, you can't go to church. You can't sing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not very religious, but man, this is a free country, and you should be able to go worship whoever you want to worship.
Well,
so the hypocrisy is driving me crazy, and I know it's driving a lot of others crazy.
Well, all that may be, Adam.
Yeah.
But the one thing you're forgetting is Will they cheat?
An election?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I every single time I look over that ballot right there, and then I think about how Biden's making it a big deal that Trump's going to cheat. Trump's going to cheat. Trump's like, no, I'm going
Setting the
to,
stage.
I'll leave. Like, no, I'm good.
And
If
what
I lose, I lose.
And what if they cheat? Look, today's election
How
day.
would we know?
Listen.
How would we know? That's
I'll
my
tell
question.
I'll tell you. Today's election day.
Uh-huh.
I got a primary ballot application, mail-in ballot application.
Okay.
I received no notice for what it was for.
Okay.
I had no idea why I received it. There was no notice in the mail saying, here's a big explanation of what's happening, why it's happening, and here's what you need to do. So one day I see we have mail. What is it? An official mail-in ballot sitting right there for someone who does not live here,
Yeah.
who didn't request one. I get an application. I do live here. Today's election day. I didn't vote. You know why? I had no idea where to go and I couldn't figure it out.
Really?
Well, first of all, I have very little time throughout the day. You know, I have a window of like 2 hours after my first session and we start preparing for this show. So once I finished, I went to the website where they were like, here's where all the information you need. Nothing was there. Then someone said it's all mail-in voting. There's no ballot boxes anymore. That leads me to believe it's possible we won't see record voter turnout. We'll see record low voter turnout. How many people are like, I have no idea how to do this? Look, man, when I voted before, they're like, I would wake up and they'd be like, it's voting day. And then I would make a phone call or go online and be like, here's your voting location. I walk in, there's the sign. I walk up, now I can vote.
Yeah.
Today, I have no idea what's going on.
It should be a holiday.
Well, you can make that argument, but the point is, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
The website was down. The website didn't work.
Of
And
course.
so I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Not like I care to vote anyway. I guess vote in the Democratic primary.
Yeah. Harold, wait. Give me that button right now.
Which one?
I need to hit that button.
We have a special surprise
For this right now.
But you got to hold it up to the microphone.
I will. Oh, I will. Can I get my zoom in shot?
Tim has to do that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for this?
How dare you?
Yes.
Someone sent us that.
Do it
Do
again.
it again.
How dare you?
How dare I what? Not vote?
How dare you?
So we actually need to get the sound bar with like the good. But somebody did this recording where you press it.
How dare you?
It's pretty good.
It's
Whoever sent
awesome.
that to us, thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank
It
you
is
very
a
much.
Greta Thunberg "How dare you" button. We got to get the soundboard going. What are we doing?
Well, we
would be
have
hard to do.
priorities.
I know,
we're
I know.
we're
We got stuff to
about to
do.
move. We're prepping on moving.
I didn't know what I was going to vote for anyway. It's primary day. There's a couple people running for the Democratic primary in our district. I don't really care all that much, to be honest. I was like, I would go and vote, you know, at the last minute if I knew what to do. But considering it was like, I don't know, so I guess I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
So my question is, you look, in 2016, I was talking to some personalities, some finance personalities, who told me that they thought, because they were in Europe at the time, based on the media reports, Trump was a clown joke that everyone hated. And they thought Clinton had it in the bag.
Ooh, earthquake.
I think you just hit the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just totally knocked the camera.
I didn't do that.
it's all good.
That was a cat.
Can you?
I'll fix.
Yeah,
you
I
got
can
it.
fix
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So they were in Europe at the time, and they saw all the media reports saying Hillary Clinton was going to win.
Yeah.
Then they came back to the United States, actually landed. Go this way, left. A little bit more. A little more. There you go.
A little less.
So hold on. When they got here, it's fine.
Okay.
When they got here, they saw the Trump signs everywhere.
Mhm.
And that's when they realized Trump was going to win. And then Trump won. That point, I think, is interesting when you bring up when you drive around here, this blue district.
Yep.
It's like D+13, I think.
Yep.
You drive around here and you see all the Trump signs.
I never saw a Biden sign. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there's no Biden signs, man.
Oh, I saw Trump signs. There's Trump signs around the neighborhood.
Whoa. I wonder if like a Biden sign is a rare collector's item. Like it might be worth money already.
Maybe so.
Because I've never seen one.
That's funny.
Has anybody listeing seen a Biden sign?
I have not.
I'm not
I
kidding.
haven't.
I'm
No,
not,
I'm
not joking.
Trying to figure it out. I'm like, no, I don't
Somebody
think so.
planted a Trump flag in the lake by our house.
Yeah, man.
No, it's true.
And it's not a real lake you can actually go on. It's like a drainage ditch.
Yeah, it's like a bog.
Yeah, it's like a bog. Somebody went out there and planted a Trump flag.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up the story for 2016 is that even though there were people that were like, wow, as soon as I saw that, I realized he'd win. My mentality the whole time was like, they'll never let him win. I do not view like the system as, I don't know, fair. These people are all super wealthy, do nothing, crony, corrupt. I view the whole system as broken and corrupt, full of corrupt incumbents.
Yep.
And then
I
somehow
agree.
Trump won. A lot of these old crony, corrupt Republicans have retired or quit. I'm out. Just ditching it.
There's plenty of Democrats that have been around for 50 years.
Yeah, the system is just being occupied by lazy do-nothings who are just like, it's, the keys to the castle.
No, and they're raking in money from lobbyists and stuff.
Listen, man.
Sitting, changing laws for whatever they feel like, basically.
Trump wants to pull our troops out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Everybody's resisting it.
Wow.
I cannot imagine they would let him win.
Right.
Whatever that means, I have no idea. But how could Trump possibly win in the face of a military-industrial complex and crony politicians that are blocking him from bringing our troops home?
2 words. Red pill.
What do you mean?
Everyone's getting red pilled. People are home from COVID. They're not working.
But the Democrats did that.
They're paying attention. Exactly my point. Yes, I know they did.
It's going to backfire?
Everyone's at home going, what are the Democrats doing? What's going on in these Democrat cities?
Why would they do it?
Why?
Why would they do it?
Because they think that it's like when Bernie lost in 2016, right? The DNC knew that he took Hillary's voter base away from her, right? So if Bernie wasn't there, Hillary might have won, right? It was a much higher chance that she would have won if the Bernie supporters if Bernie was never a part of the situation, right?
I think it's possible.
No, I know.
We talked about the other day.
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing,
Right.
that conversation. We talked about that. So, it's
They started pandering to the far left.
that's my point. They started pandering because they wanted that grassroots. They were like, oh, maybe that is what works. And you just said, it's a big bubble of SJWs that's who her voter base was already. And then
Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton, right? So
No, I don't think Hillary's was.
No, that's what you just said earlier.
What do you mean?
When you were comparing Trump versus Hillary in the 2016 election, and Trump's supporters were all over the place with their ideologies, whereas
No, that's the opposite.
What?
The conservatives have an ideology. The left didn't.
No. But you were talking specifically about Hillary versus Trump and how all the Trump supporters were kind of all over the place, but Hillary's supporters were all in this little bubble. I'm referencing what you just told me.
The Democratic voter
20
base,
minutes ago.
So on the graph of economic left and right,
Yes.
Trump's was both liberal and conservative.
Okay, so now moving
Right.
forward, now we're in 2020. They're going, it's election year. We need to whip up all this grassroots, movement. Get Black Lives Matter. There's this whole conspiracy about the Act Blue funding. That's funding Biden's campaign. It's like all this stuff. It's like they're leaning in as hard as possible to try to get as many of these youth. You see Pelosi saying we should lower the voting age to 16. It's like, I'm 36. I didn't know what I was doing politically until yesterday.
And 18 is where we're at.
18. I had no clue.
They would capture a lot of votes if they lowered it to 16.
I know, and they know it.
Voter turnout among the youth is extremely low.
Right.
But it's still more votes from the youth bracket if you get 2 more years.
Right, so that's what I'm seeing.
That's
seeing
ridiculous.
That's what this is all. It's all them leaning in to try to get to scoop in as many of these, the SJW group, the minorities, the people that feel they're homeless. What do you got, Lydia?
I think this would backfire on them because I was reading a statistic earlier about how high schoolers are the most patriotic demographic. They don't change until they get into college for some reason. Yes, that's true.
I saw that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it was really interesting.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.